Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Nicolette Hodge, and this is We Reflect the Light. Welcome, sisters and brothers. We will be continuing to discuss the enemy's plan against the original black man and woman in America. Sisters and brothers, in order for us to make our exodus of America, leave America and return home to our land, we must have a thorough knowledge of self. Part of that is understanding our true history right here in the hills of North America. They tell us that our experience is called slavery. However, slavery is just 1% of our experience, sisters and brothers. We were also afflicted. That's the 99%. Therefore, the Holocaust is the correct term for our experience. So, part of our enemy's plan against us, sisters and brothers, is to distort our history, to distort our memories, so that we don't understand what's going on, who we are, who our enemies are, and the predicament, the situation that we're in, and how we are to deal with that situation so that we can get up out of here. We can fulfill our vision. So they tell us that what we endured was slavery. Slavery is an economic system of capitalism, maximum profit, minimum overhead. We're still slaves right now. When we're in the fields, they got the maximum amount of labor out of us. That was the agricultural age. So we worked the fields, we planted their food. They got the maximum amount of labor. So they made the maximum profit. That's maximum profit. And they gave us just enough to keep us alive, minimum overhead. We're still experiencing that to this day. Instead of the plantation, they called it plant. Then they upgraded the name to factories. At this very moment, we're clocking in. We have managers, overseers, taskmasters, house Negroes presiding over us, keeping us in check, reporting everything back to massa. And what are they doing? This is still a situation of capitalism. This is still an economic system. It's just now we're in the industrial age, stepping into the AI age. So what does that look like? Employees, we get a salary, hourly pay. They're paying us just enough. So they're getting the maximum amount of labor out of us. But they're paying us just enough to stay alive. Most certainly not the amount that we're bringing in for them. So maximum profit, minimum overhead, that's an economic system, capitalism. Capitalism is slavery by definition. They're not paying us what it is that we're bringing in. They're not paying us our worth. So we go out and we make $1,000 for massa. We get paid, $17 an hour, if that. However, that's not the amount of money that's not equivalent to the amount of energy and labor that we put in to bring in that $1,000. And this is just an example into the job. So we're still slaves, sisters and brothers. So by them trying to minimize our experience, whitewashing it, downplaying it, sweeping it under the rug and calling our experience slavery, they have now tried to minimize their distorting our history, because enslavement was only 1% of our experience. The other 99% is affliction. So what does that look like? What does that entail? Being raped relentlessly. That's not a part of slavery. Being raped from our first breath until our last breath, from infancy until the day we died. It's not slavery. Our men being sodomized. That's not slavery. Them beating us to a pulp. That's not slavery. Them hanging us. them hunting us down, using our babies as alligator bait, cutting our stomachs open, no anesthesia, no painkillers, and performing science experiments on us. That's not slavery, sisters and brothers. They don't want to talk about the affliction. They don't want to speak about the horror cost. That's exactly what we endured. Horror from start to finish. Our father Abram had a vision of horror. And that's exactly what we endured, sisters and brothers. So, excuse me for a moment. So this is how we verify who the true seed of Abraham is. Abraham's seed, or Abram's seed, here in this scripture, our father Abram is called Abram instead of Abraham. We are Ham, Abram's lost seed. When you put Ham with Abram, you get Abraham. So this verse subtly identifies that we will be separated from our father Abram during this time period. It shares know of a surety that thy seed, know of a surety, sisters and brothers. So this cannot possibly be a critical race theory, like they say our experience is a critical race theory. A theory is something that has yet to be proven. The Holocaust is documented facts. It says know of a surety. That means this is a definite. That thy seed shall be sojourners. That means temporarily. That means we're visiting. All right? Sojourners in a land that is not theirs. That means that this is not the land that we were born in. This is not the land that the Supreme Wisdom Lessons tells us where the root of civilization is. It tells us where our heavenly home is. This is not the land that we come from, sisters and brothers. Some translation says strangers in a land that is not theirs. So if we're strangers in this land, to this land, then that means there's a land that we're familiar with, a land that we've come from. So, and it shares, and they shall serve them and they shall afflict them. So that's the Holocaust. That's two different elements right there. That's the economic system of capitalism and then the affliction. We served America, we served these devils, and they afflicted us. Two different things. And how long did that go on? For 400 years. So from 1619 to 2019. It shares, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. Well, when did the judgment start? The judgment started in 2020. 2020 came in with a plague, COVID-19, passing over those of us that have the blood of the Lamb. That means passing over the true seed of Abraham. Because the Lamb, Joshua the Messiah, the Son of Man, he is the seed of Abraham. So it passed over the original black man and woman all over the planet. While it did not pass over the devils all over the world. False Israel was hit. Europe was hit. America hit. So the judgment started in 2020. That's how we verify that 400-year time period. That's how we know where we're at in time, sisters and brothers. It shares, and afterward shall they come out. So if we're coming out of America, we know that we're temporarily in this land. That's not ours. It shares, and afterward they shall come out. So that means we're leaving with great substance, so great wealth. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance, but thou shalt go to thy fathers. We're going somewhere. Thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Well, our father is not from America. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again. Hither means here. So it's identifying that we're returning somewhere again. A land that we're familiar with. And we are in the fourth generation right now, sisters and brothers. So understand that the truth is clear, sisters and brothers. Our history is documented facts. It's recorded. So although they try to hide our history from us, erase our memories, they cannot erase the truth, sisters and brothers. For every action, there's an opposite equal reaction. So they can't erase the action, right? They cannot go back and undo what they have done. So with that being said, sisters and brothers, let's get back into the affliction a bit more. They raped us relentlessly. Why did they do that? Well, scriptures tells us that they wanted to prevent our multiplication and that they do not want us to leave the country. So one of their ways of doing that is they restricted us from freely multiplying with each other, freely procreating with our man. So they would not allow us to reproduce with one another. If they even suspected that we were pregnant with Abraham's seed, with one of our own, they even suspected that we were multiplying our own bloodline, they would torture us and murder our babies. And Massa raped us relentlessly, nonstop, as they tried to rape our seed out of existence. So they took our wombs. When you understand that the fact that they raped us shows that we did not willingly lay down with these devils. They took something that does not belong to them. They used us, taking our wombs and using it to further their agenda, sowing their devil seed in our wombs, forcing us to give birth to devils in black skin, forcing us to give birth to demons. Demon means half devil, half man. Demons are real people walking around, sisters and brothers. A hybrid nation of devils that look like us. They walk like us. However, they don't talk like us. The house Negroes. So this was Massa's plan to rape our seed out of existence, to get rid of Abraham's seed. However, warrior queens, we did not allow them to be successful. We intercepted their plans. We were victorious in that battle against our reproduction. This plan of genocide that the devils were carrying out. We defeated them, sisters, warrior queens. And how did we do that? We had to sneak and get impregnated by our original man so that we could keep our seed coming through the womb, so that we could be here today, so that we could receive the reward for enduring that 400-year sacrifice, that 400-year Holocaust. So warrior queens, we've been on post for 400 plus years, standing up for our nation in a time of need, without having to be asked, doing what needs to be done, carrying our nation on our back. And there's a reward for that as well, sisters. So Massa tried to rape our seed out of existence. Massa's goal was for all the blacks in America to be devils in black skin, house Negroes, demons, Massa's black-faced children. However, we did not allow Massa to be successful. And as a result of our efforts, as a result of us standing up for our nation, making sure that we kept our seed coming through our womb, make sure that we kept multiplying. Half of the blacks in America are original. 34 million blacks in America, 17 million are saints, original sisters and brothers, and the other 17 million are demons. Massa's goal was for all 34 million to be demons. However, again, We won that battle, sisters. So that's give you an understanding or make you aware that we really have a winning streak. We have been victorious. We're the most victorious people on the planet. And what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So all of these weapons that the devils have formed against us, deception, raping us, trying to confuse us. Scripture says no weapon formed against you will prosper. So although they're trying to destroy us, they have not and will not be successful, sisters, warrior queens. So keep that in mind. Now, they tell us that afterlife, you die, you go to hell. Beneath the ground, there's a devil with a pitchfork. You're getting burned up forever and ever. Or they say that if you accept Jesus in your heart, then you'll go to heaven. If you don't, you'll go to hell. If you do, you'll go to heaven. Heaven is somewhere, according to them, beyond the clouds, somewhere up in the sky. You cannot verify any of this afterlife BS because it's not real, sisters and brothers. Deception. Understand that heaven is a real place. Hell is a real place. We're in hell right now. We are in the hells of North America. We are in the furnace of affliction. We're being ruled over. We're being controlled by devils. So there's nothing spooky about this. However, they have us thinking in a mysterious way to keep us out of touch with reality so that they can control us. They want to keep us on a lower level of thought than they are so that they can control us. As soon as we raise our level of thought above the devil and the rest of our enemies, we're in control of ourselves at that point. And that's what they want to prevent. So they give us all these different illusions, all these deceptions. However, that time period of deception is over, sisters and brothers. So, reflecting the light of the angel, the new reality, clarity, so that we understand what's going on, where we're going, where we came from, who everyone is, bringing everything to light. Everything is identifiable, sisters and brothers. Everything is physical, something that we can verify, something that we can, all of these things can be proven. That Jesus lie, Jesus, the name Jesus, that name was nowhere in the original manuscripts. It's made up, comes from Greek mythology, Jesus. That's part of the affliction, that mental, that psychological torture. Telling us that if we don't accept Jesus in our hearts and love and pray, that we're going to go to hell forever and ever and ever. In reality, we're in hell right now. And the devils are the ones putting us through it. So, and they tell you have to die and go to heaven. However, just like hell is a physical landmass, heaven is also a physical landmass. We don't have to die to get there. Just like we're alive right here in hell. So that means that we're going to be alive in heaven. So, getting back in touch with reality. They have us in la la land, have us in a spooky mindset about all this stuff. So that they can disguise who they are. If they tell us that there's a devil under the ground with a pitchfork, then we're not identifying the devils that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. If they tell us that demons is a character flaw, is an attitude, then we're not identifying the house Negroes, the devils in black skin that we are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. The wolves in sheep's clothing, amongst the sheep, howling like wolves, accusing the sheep of being sinful, such as Louis Farrakhan. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's a demon. His father is a Portuguese Jew named Percival Clark that raped his black mother. So he is the chief demon, Legion. He says that we're sinful. So he looks like us, but he's talking like his devil fathers. He says that we're cursed. He says that we're ugly because of our dark skin and nappy hair like lamb's wool. So he's trying to deter you from identifying who Joshua the Messiah is. Because scriptures tell you that the Son of Man would have hair like lamb's wool and skin like burnished bronze. So a dark-skinned black man. That's not Farrakhan. That's not Master Fard Muhammad. That's not Elijah Muhammad. A black man with hair like lamb's wool. So we're given a specific description. But they tell us that Jesus is the Messiah. A devil with a dress on. The same person, the same picture of the devils that are afflicting us. They're telling us who we're supposed to pray to and love. And so that's all a part of the Holocaust, sisters and brothers, that affliction, that psychological torture, that age of deception. However, now we're coming out of that age of deception. Now we're stepping into a new season. So everything and everyone is being exposed, sisters and brothers. That's what the light does. The light shines and exposes everything. Everything that was once in darkness is now identifiable, clear to see. So understand that we're in hell right now, here in America. And we're going to heaven, which is another landmass. We will identify that shortly, sisters and brothers. So with that, our next speaker will take us further. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Fatima Hodge. Today I'm going to be reading out the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 18. It reads, "In that day, God made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates." All right, sisters and brothers, this scripture is our covenant, the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers. This is, in fact, God's sure word that he made to his people for suffering in hell for 400 plus years. Sisters and brothers, we have to understand that the covenant is, in fact, our vision. And a people without a vision will perish. And the plan of our enemies is to destroy our nation. Now, this is why they give us a dream, because it is in fact not reality, right? So they keep you outside of reality, pushing this dream, because they know a people without a vision will in fact perish, right? And like I shared, their plan is for our destruction. The mind that they have given us is to destroy us, sisters and brothers. Thinking outside of reality. Thinking things are spooks and spirits, right? Here, this scripture is identifying a land. This is identifying the land that was promised to our nation. The black man and woman right here in America for suffering for 400 plus years in hell, sisters and brothers. and it is Arabia. It said from the river of Egypt onto the great river, the river Euphrates, right? So this is identifying a location, right? Which is Arabia, sisters and brothers. So anyone that's telling you that you're not going anywhere, that heaven is somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars, hell is somewhere under your feet, then they are in fact your enemies, sisters and brothers. Because the covenant tells us right here that we are getting out of this land, right? Going back to our land, right here in Arabia, sisters and brothers, the best part of the planet Earth. Now, I'm going to move forward and elaborate on these devils keeping us outside of reality. Now, like I shared, they teach you that heaven is a place beyond the sun, moon, and stars. Hell is a place that's under your feet. And that is all a lie. That is the mind that these devils have given us to make sure that we're operating on a low level of thinking, right? And anybody that's not thinking inside reality is in fact operating on that low level of thinking, sisters and brothers, which is why it's important for us to get our minds back, sisters and brothers, right? Because hell and heaven is in fact a place, right? It's a place. And hell for the black man and woman of America is right here in America, sisters and brothers, where they tortured our nation, beat our nation, raped our nation 24/7 around the clock, sisters and brothers. There's no greater hell than where we are right now, sisters and brothers. And they tell you that if you kill yourself, you'll go to hell. But they tell you that heaven is a place where you go when you die. So why wouldn't someone want to hurry up and get there, right? So you have to understand that they had to tell you that if you kill yourself, then you're gonna go to hell, right? Because they didn't want you killing yourself. They needed you, right? As slaves, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand the plans of our enemies to destroy you, our nation. That's their plans, sisters and brothers. Now, hell is a place on earth, which is right here in America. And heaven is also a place on earth, sisters and brothers, which is in fact Arabia, sisters and brothers, the promised land that was promised to Abraham's seed, the black man and woman of America. Now, sisters and brothers, this is in fact the best part of the planet, which is our heaven, right? Not somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars, right here on earth, sisters and brothers. This is us bringing our nation back to reality, sisters and brothers. Back to reality. Let's get back to reality, right? Now, we have to understand that the white man's heaven is in fact the black man's hell, right? So if America is in fact our hell, right, which is on earth, where's the white man's heaven? Right here, sisters and brothers, in America, right on earth, sisters and brothers. Which is why they are making sure that, our nation is um, you know, distracted from the truth because they don't want their heaven to end. And we have to understand that the time that is approaching us is, in fact, our time, sisters and brothers, our time to arrive, right? Our heaven. Now, if our heaven is approaching, what does that mean for them? That means their hell is approaching, sisters and brothers, because the black man's heaven is, in fact, the white man's hell, sisters and brothers. Just like we're here in heaven, excuse me, sisters and brothers, just like we're here in hell, in the white man's heaven, America, they're going to be in hell in our reality, sisters and brothers. Our heaven, right? And we have to understand that it is in fact approaching us as we speak. We're going into a new season, sisters and brothers. Every 6,000 years, there's a new season. We're coming out of the worst winter season ever, right? And in the winter, things are really cold. Things die, things freeze, right? And we have to understand that these devils are, in fact, winter people, right? Which means they thrive in the winter. Just like you have certain animals that thrive in cold weather, right? Like polar bears, right? Penguins. So we have to understand, and when they get into a different, when they're not in that cold anymore, sisters and brothers, then they're no longer in their heaven, right? Because their heaven is where they thrive in, right? So we have to understand that that is exactly what's taking place, sisters and brothers. These devils, this is the time where they thrive in the winter. They're winter people. So that means when the winter ends and the next season comes in, their reality is crushed, right? And they have to adjust to the new reality that's coming in, which will in fact be their hell, right? Because that is not their reality, right? They are not spring people, because I'm sure everyone knows the seasons. After winter comes spring, right? Things starts to melt from the winter because the sun is coming out. Flowers start to grow again, right? Grass is getting greener, right? Because things are changing. We're going into a new season, right? So, just like there's winter people, there's spring people. And sisters and brothers, we are in fact spring people, which is why winter season was in fact our hell, sisters and brothers, because we thrive in spring. So, this is why we have to understand that global warming, sisters and brothers, is not something for our nation to fear, because we are in fact spring people. And global warming is just a sign to these devils that their reality is coming to an end and their reality is melting, right? So they're doing all type of things to keep this reality frozen, cold, right? Keep the cold in, right? But we have to understand that when the new season comes in and the sun comes out, things start to melt. So all those rules and things of the winter becomes no longer, right? They no longer work, right? So As much as they try to fight and do what they can to keep this reality going, they will not, sisters and brothers, be successful in the attempt to keep this reality going and also to destroy the Spring people, which is the black man and woman of America. Sisters and brothers, they can't destroy us, but that's their plan. You have to think, if these people are coming out of heaven, right, to hell, do you think they would want to leave their heaven without putting up a fight? And that's exactly what's taking place, sisters and brothers, right now. They tried to make sure that our nation was not prepared to enter into the spring, right? Keeping us in this mind that they have given us, which is outside of reality. So we're not thinking at all. We're pushing this American dream, keeping this American dream going, right? Keeping their reality functioning, thriving, right? But you got to do it to pay your bills. You got to do it to keep your kids in school. You got to do it to have food on your table, right? So this is why our people are distracted from what's about to take place, right? And from the covenant, sisters and brothers, which is your vision, because you're focused 24/7 on this dream, sisters and brothers. And they made it like that, right? They made this life, this reality difficult, because we have to understand that this reality is difficult, and confusing for us, not confusing, but what we do, is 24/7 around the clock, right? So they're keeping us distracted. That's the point I'm trying to make here, sisters and brothers, with their reality, their celebrities, their social media, their music, sisters and brothers. Got their pastors and preachers distracting us as well, telling you not going anywhere, not telling you about the Abrahamic covenant, right? Lying to you, stealing from you, robbing you, sisters and brothers, right? Giving you jobs that, they don't really require you to do any critical thinking. And this is all to keep us at a low level of thinking, right? But we have to understand that the spring is coming in and their plans will not prevail. And this American dream is going to come to an end. Thanks to our God, Master Farah Muhammad, who's going to intervene and cut this American dream completely off, right? So now our people has nothing left but to focus on their vision, their survival, sisters and brothers, which is the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers, and also getting our minds back through the Injil, right? Which is the last book of the Bible, right? The unsealed scriptures that the Son of Man, the messenger of the covenant, has revealed to us, sisters and brothers. That is, in fact, your mind. And that mind is going to bring you above their level of thinking, which is the mind that we have to upload before we're getting out of here in order to defeat these devils, sisters and brothers. Our mind must be above their level of thinking. And that angel is the tool that you will need to achieve that, sisters and brothers. And that is, in fact, the spring, the mind of the spring, to get out of spring. Excuse me, to get out of the winter and to adjust to the spring, sisters and brothers. This is what you need, the angel. Also, us coming together, Hajj, us rising as a mighty nation. Like I said, when spring comes in, things starts to grow, right? That were dead in the winter, right? And that's exactly what was happening with us. We were dead in the winter, right? So you have the messenger of the covenant here, the breaker of the seven seals, teaching us, right? telling us about the covenant, right? Telling us about our vision. And anyone that is not telling you about your vision is, in fact, your enemy, sisters and brothers. And you must know your enemy, sisters and brothers, because if you do not know your enemy, you are, in fact, your own enemy. So it's important to understand who's surrounding you, sisters and brothers. And things are not spooks and spirits like they tell you. They tell you devils are spooks, demons are spooks, angels are spooks, jinn is spooks. All these things are spooks outside of reality. And that's what we're here to bring you back to, that standard. Let's get back to reality, sisters and brothers. Heaven is a place on earth. Hell is a place on earth, sisters and brothers. And we're coming out of the spring. We're coming out of the winter into the spring, sisters and brothers. And we are spring people. That is when our time to rise. That is when we thrive, sisters and brothers. And soon we're going to rise as a mighty nation and come together in Hajj, right? One body, one band, one sound, sisters and brothers. One fails, we all fail. That's why it's important to understand that we're one body, sisters and brothers, because this is another tactic that they use to destroy our nation, teaching us that we're separate, right? You don't need one another. You got it yourself, right? But that was all tactics to destroy our body, right? Because you need every body part to function properly, right? And that's going to be our greatest achievement. We achieve Hajj. Understand that we're one body, right? Because once we do that, then we're able to get our mind back, which is through the NGO, right? And that's going to bring us to that level of thinking that we need to be at to defeat these devils, right? And they can't upload the NGO like we can, so you have to understand that we're going to be at higher pressure. And higher pressure defeats lower pressure, which is why they have given you a mind that keeps you at a low level of thought, sisters and brothers, with thinking. All right, sisters and brothers, no need to fear. The spring is here. All right, with that, I'm going to bring on our next speaker. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's David Hodge. All right, brothers and sisters. Our enemies do not want you to know the truth. They do not want you to identify your enemies. Because if you cannot identify your enemies, then you are indeed your own enemy. So that's the trick. That's their goal. To keep you lost, keep you misled, keep you confused, keep you from finding out the truth. That way you don't be set free. That way that you're not set free. Because it said the truth shall set you free. So they want to keep you a slave. They want to keep you within the programming. Keep you programmed. Keep you out of touch with reality, brothers and sisters. So with that, they're going to continue to tell you what they want to tell you. They're going to continue to keep you out of touch with reality. They're going to keep you in la la land, in make believe, in fairy tale land. They're going to tell you that we're fighting a spiritual warfare that you can't see, that the characters and things that's attacking you are spooks and spirits, that they're invisible, that we're fighting an invisible war. You see, that we're all under attack by these entities that we can't see. You see, that way you don't identify who they are, that they're the real monsters, that they're the devils, that they're Satan, that they're demons. You see, that way you can't point your finger at who's really doing these things to you. So they tell you that these things you can't physically see them. This is a spiritual, invisible war. So that's why you gotta stay prayed up. You gotta keep the faith of Jesus. He protects you. Call on him. He's invisible, but he'll protect you. You see, keep you trapped in this reality. Keep your level of thinking low, destroying your brain, keeping you from finding out and operating off a higher level than them. You see, keep you bound to this reality. Like I said, keep you a slave, keep you totally discombobulated with confusion, which is easier. That's how they maintain that control over you, because they gave you fairy tale, so you're so busy in fairy tale land, you can't even identify what's going on. You can't identify your enemies, so you're attacking yourself. You're beating yourself up. You see, blaming yourself for stuff that they're doing to you, because they're the ones who named the characters. They're the ones who's keeping you out of the loop, keeping you fighting yourself, beating yourself up. You see, you're never able to. You keep thinking 2 + 2 is 22. So you go in the wrong direction, headed straight for a brick road. Headed straight to a brick wall. You see, and that's what they want for you. They don't want you to find out that 2 + 2 equals 4. They want you to believe it's 22. And this is their this is the lie that they're telling. See, that the jinn is invisible, that angels are invisible, that Satan is invisible. They're telling you all these characters are invisible, that you can't see them. You see, the demons that possess you, the demons they possess you, they're invisible, but they come inside you and come out of you and they possess you. You see, devils, they go along hand in hand with angels. You got one on your shoulder, you got one telling you good, one telling you bad. I'm torn between the two. The devil made me do it. You see, I'm possessed by demons. Oh, you can't. You see, then you got to go to Jesus, so-called. He's supposed to be the Son of Man. See, but it said that Jesus had hair like lamb's wool. He said he had skins of bronze. But then they give you this depiction of Jesus, which is the same color as the person who enslaved and inflicted you. You see, that way they can justify. They say that right, yeah, that Jesus looked just like them, the devil, the true devil, right? The one that enslaved and afflicted you. See, keep you enslaved forever, even after you die, so called, right? If you die, you go to heaven. They put a good word in for you. See, because they connected to him, because Jesus looked just like them. See, but this is not. You see, these things are all fiction. These things are not real. See, so you got bad information. You make bad decisions, and you're staying in a state of confusion because you have bad information, which is given to you by your enemies to keep you confused, to keep you from elevating, from keeping you from thinking, from keeping you connecting dots to who they really are, to keep you your own enemy, to keep you beating up yourself, keep you from being set free. You see, so all these things are lies. See, so what happens if you find out the truth? Boom. See, what happens if you get out of La La Land? What happens if you finally snatch that rubber rabbit? You find out that it's fake. Now you can identify what's going on around you. Now they can never get you to run that race again. You see? Now you can identify that these individuals are real people. See? That all these things, these spooks and spirits, they don't exist. You see? All this stuff is lies to keep you deceived, to keep you down, to keep you under their control. Now, you start to turn around. Now you headed the right direction. Now you identify who your enemies are. See? The jinn, they're real people. The house aside, the ones sitting on your land, stole your land. Now you identify who you are. See? Our beautiful black sisters, the angels, they're talking about brothers and sisters, the black woman and black men of America, the ones who went through 400 years of servitude and affliction at the hands of the devil. You see? Right here, the real devil. You see? This is who the devil is, Massa, the ones who we submitted to and went through 400 plus years of affliction and servitude, right? This is him. This is the black man. I mean, what, right? The black man and woman went through these things, and the devil is the one who did it to you. The Caucasian man and woman, they were the ones who did these things to you. You see? And then they produced their black-faced children right here. Half devil, half man, from the rape of the black woman during the Holocaust, which was horror. You see? Our true history, our true experience was horror. You see? They try to tell you it was just slavery. It was horror. And they produced their black-faced children, which is a cancer to our nation. You see? They're wolves in sheep clothing. They look like us, but they're not us. They're master's children. They're Caucasians in black skin. Literally. They mean us no good. You see? They're intervening and interfering with us uniting. They're the ones keeping us within the programming, keeping us loving our enemies. They're the ones confusing us, keeping us confused. They're the ones not telling you about your vision. You see? They're the ones helping Massa, collaborating and participating with Massa. Even though Massa don't even give a damn about them. They still helping Massa. You see? All to destroy you, to keep you out of touch with reality, keeping you sucked in this reality. Then you got Satan. He's doing it too. See? He's the one controlling this whole thing. Real individual. These are real people. These are real individuals. See? He's the one stole your identity, claiming to be you, but he's not you. Masquerading as an angel of light, claiming to be true to Abraham, but they're not. You see? And he's the one running Hollywood, running what you hear, what you see. He's keeping you in the programming, keeping this thing programming you, stealing your identity, and then butchering and slandering your name. You see, messing up your reputation and saying all these things about you to the public. You see, they're the ones, they're using their demons, right, to represent you as the representation of you and who you are. Pimps, hoes, savages, fools, uneducated people, dummies. You see, deadbeats, this, that, drug dealers. You see, they're the ones painting that image out there, and they playing the music, violence. Yeah, we kill, steal, this, that. We criminal. Yeah, you see, they're pushing that but that's not us. That's who they are. But they're putting that on us. See, and Satan's the one over it. He's the one pushing that agenda. And the house aside is fueling this whole reality that's keeping us down, brothers and sisters. They're the ones giving our enemies fuel, oil, to pump this reality, to keep it thriving, to keep it going. Can't go without oil. You see? They're the ones making sure that we stay miserable as well. You see? They don't want you to know that the Son of Man, which is Joshua, see, they call him Jesus, but it's Joshua. See, ain't no Jesus. It's Joshua. Joshua the Messiah, the messenger of the covenant. You see? They don't want you to know that he was black and he's for you. See? Say he had skin like bronze and hair like lamb's wool. That he was our brother. You see? They don't want you to know that see, he's on your side. He's here for you. He's here for you to give you your vision. You see, tell you that you're leaving, tell you you're getting out of here, tell you that you're blessed. See, giving you the information to be successful during the new time that we're headed to, that we're getting out of here and we're going to get our reward, that we have a reward And we almost there. We're just that close to wake you up so you don't become wolf shit. You see, because your enemies, the devils, they have a plan against you to annihilate you, to literally eliminate you, brothers and sisters. And he's here to tell you that they're not your friends. You see, that none of them, the devil, devils, demons, Satan, jinn, all of them, they are your enemies. They're totally against you. You see, and that we're going home. You see, remind you that we're going home. It's time to get the hell out of here. You see, give you back your right, give you back, give you your mind. You see what you need to be successful in where we headed, which is out of here and headed back to the promised land. You see that you deserve, but they're trying to talk you out of it. They're trying to get you to cancel your reward, get you to exchange it for something that ain't worth nothing. You see, once you take the devil's trinkets and rewards, that's nothing. It has no value compared to. I mean, I guess it does have value, but if you like shit, then I guess that's what you'll be exchanging it for. You know, something that's it's priceless. You see, what God has for you is much more valuable than anything the devil could offer you. That's why I say we don't want anything from him. You see, but we're getting out of here. That's what the measure of the covenant is here to tell you. Tell you that you have a second option. That you don't have to stay here and land in your imprisonment. That we're going home. See, and that's their job to keep you from finding out this information, from keeping you find out the good information, so you stay pumped with the bad information, so you keep making bad decisions. You see, and that's what Satan's job is, to keep your image tore up, and him blocking you. He's the one blocking you from finding out who you are. You see, because when you wake up, I mean we rise up. Once you find out who you are, you rise up. That's what they want to prevent you from rising up. You see? So boom, they're going to be exposed soon. You see? Because they're the ones claiming to be us. They tell you here in Revelation chapters 2, 3, verse 9, both chapters, it says, look, I am giving out a synagogue of the Satan of the ones saying themselves Jews to be, and not they are, but they are lying. Look, I shall make them in order that they will come and they will do obeisance. See, talking to Satan, saying that, you see, this is the message of the covenant. He's saying, I will, or excuse me, brothers and sisters. This is the God speaking. The God said, Master Prophet Muhammad, he's saying, look, I shall make them in order that they will come and they will do obeisance in sight of the feet of you. You see? Talking to the NOI, telling the NOI that he'll make Satan come do obeisance in the sight of the feet of them. And they should know that I loved you. See? And then this is where the message of the covenant, he's speaking. He said, I have known of you the tribulation and the poverty. You see? But rich you are. And that's speaking to the God's angels. You see? Now he's talking about Satan. He says in the blasphemy. See, now he's talking to them, directing his attention towards Satan. In the blasphemy was a lie out of one saying Jews to be themselves, and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan. So it's clear on who Satan is. It's the ones who claim to be Jews. Right? They say they're Satan. It says the ones who have synagogues, they're Satan. See? So that's what it says. You see, you are not Jews. You're liars. Your father is the devil. You do the works of your father. You are the synagogue of the Satan. Synagogue of Satan. Literally, they're Satan. See? And they're going to be made manifest. When they're destroyed, it's going to be made manifest to the world that they weren't who they claim to be. See, because that's an abomination. That's not supposed to happen. It said when God placed them in their land, they are not to be uprooted or removed. That means that they couldn't possibly been those individuals. And everybody's been blessing the wrong people. And they've been cursing us. And it said, curse those who curse God's people. That's what a shock of the hour. You see? Seeing shockwaves through the planet. See? This whole thing go crumbling. And people are going to lose their minds. Or, well, their minds will be crushed. Because the world is set up around the idea that that false Israel's true seed Abraham. Boom. That crushed that. And now they all messed up. You understand? That information, that's gone. That data is crushed. You see? That no longer is reality. You see? And how the reality is, they're cursed. You're cursed. You're done for. You see? Your whole reality is over with. Your whole reality been snatched. You've been handed hell. You see? Because now you did something you weren't supposed to do. Well, I mean, you do what you want, but just the consequence. You see, now you know that every action has an opposite and equal reaction, and now you're faced with your consequence for your actions. You see, so that's what's about to take place, brothers and sisters. In the it's going to send shockwaves through the planet. All right, brothers and sisters. With that being said, I'm going to bring in the next speaker. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. The war in the Middle East that is taking place right now between Iran and America, false Israel, Britain, and the House of Saud, Saudi Arabia, and the Gulf Arab states is the war in heaven. Revelations 12:7 states it occurred war in the heaven. The Michael and the angels of him of the to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it, and not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to air, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. Sisters and brothers, heaven. Heaven is where this war is taking place. Heaven is not in the sky somewhere where you have to die to see. This war in heaven is the war that the world is watching, witnessing right now. The war in the Middle East. Sisters and brothers, this war lets us know from the unsealed scripture, from the Injil, the Gospel of Revelations, who the dragon and the angels of the dragon are, as well as who Michael and his angels are, and what the outcome of this war will be, and how this war is going to affect the original black man and woman here in the hills of North America and the world. Sisters and brothers, an occurred war in the heaven, the Michael, is Master Farad Muhammad, and the angels of him are Iran and Syria. Again, they're at war with the dragon, the house of Saudi Arabia, and the angels of the dragon, who are America, Britain, and false Israel. These four countries has announced and entered into a war against Iran. Sisters and brothers, and the dragon, as the scripture says, and the angels of the dragon will be thrown out of heaven. There will be no place found in the heaven of them in the heaven. They will be thrown out of heaven into the earth. Now, sisters and brothers, again, the dragon and the angels of the dragon or men will be the losers. Michael and his angels will be the victors in this war in heaven. Now, sisters and brothers, the dragon and his angels and the angels of it will be the losers in this war. Michael, the God, and his angels Iran and Syria, who are in the Middle East. Heaven is in the Middle East. So, sisters and brothers, it's made clear through the unsealed scriptures of where heaven is. For we, sisters and brothers, won't be looking for this place, this make-believe place somewhere in the sky, somewhere where you cannot see, find, unless you die, that no one has been to. So, sisters and brothers, there's an occupier. There's occupiers in heaven. Now, one, the dragon is occupying our land. The land from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. Which in the Abrahamic covenant, this is the land that God promised to Abram's seed. The land from the river Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. Now, sisters and brothers, America is squatting, occupying several different countries in the region, hosted by several different countries in the region. And are occupying land in Syria where they're not wanted, and as well as Britain, but for the most, the synagogue of the Satan. Those that call themselves Jews and are not. Sisters and brothers, false Israel is occupying Palestinian land, Palestine, shit like that. And have the Golden Heights, which is parts of Syria, and as well as parts of Lebanon. Sisters and brothers, the dragon and the angels of it will be thrown out the Middle East. This is the cleaning of heaven. This is cleaning out heaven, sisters and brothers. This war will clean out heaven. And as the scripture says, will change the power, though the power, those who are controlling heaven. So right now, sisters and brothers, we know that America, Britain, and false Israel are or have been in control of the Middle East, using their military presence and force in the region. Now, here, sisters and brothers, it states in Luke 21:26, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Men's hearts failing them for fear, as for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Fear, sisters and brothers. Men's hearts will be failing. They will be stroking out, having heart attacks, straight out collapsing from fear of what they are witnessing, knowing that what they're witnessing and are going to witness and what they will witness in the Middle East, in heaven, their hearts will be failing them for fear of what is coming to America and other countries. Because they will know when they see America thrown out the Middle East, they will know that, understand that America is being judged, and understand that what's taking place with false Israel, that power that has been shaken, knocked down, changed, and thrown out of heaven, that means as well for here that the power or America's power will be shaken in America. So America is going to experience a, a shaking of power. From around the world and inside of America that is going to bring America down. The fall of America. Sisters and brothers, they will know that is what's coming to America. With America being defeated in the Middle East, and false Israel being under siege and destroyed, watched under the microscope by the world, the nations of the world, live on TV, live from drone footage of what is taking place or what is going to take place in false Israel when false Israel is took or siege after America, Britain, and the House of Silence thrown out of the Middle East, and false Israel is left all by itself. And the world will witness what false Israel is committing, this genocide, causing famine on the Palestinian people. Is going to backfire. The abominable, cruel destruction that false Israel is causing on Lebanon and Syria, in the region, the attacking of these countries by false Israel, all of these things is going to backfire on false Israel. And the world is going to get to see false Israel with no running water, desalination plants destroyed, on fire, standing in feces, their own waste from their sewage. Economic collapse, no food, um, no discipline, and all out famine, but at with cannibalism taking place right in front of the world. They're going to be eating each other, eating their children. No way out of their situation. No one to help them. And no one is going to show any mercy because they deserve every bit of what they will receive. And no one will show them any mercy, so they will suffer and be destroyed in the eyes of the world. And those looking on, especially those in America, will have failing hearts from fear of what is coming to America. This, every America and Brit and false Israel are both going to go through the same thing. America is going to also experience famine, economic collapse, a total breakdown in their system. Now, sisters and brothers, this is what is going to happen in heaven, which is the Middle East. Iran, who is Michael's angel, the God, Master Fard Muhammad, and Syria are going to be the victors in heaven, in the Middle East. Iran will win this war that we're watching. America will be defeated. False Israel will be taken under siege and destroyed. Britain and Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states are going to be defeated by Iran and the God, Master Fard Muhammad. This is what the scripture is shared. And the outcome or the fear that is going to grip the nations when they see, especially America, when they see and recognize that this is about to come to America. The backlash or the from the war, the effect, the economic collapse, the famine, all these things, all those things that they have witnessed is on its way, is on its way, their way. And they're going to understand this, because there will be a new ruler in the Middle East. Iran will be controlling the Strait of Hormuz, not just the Strait, they will have full control over our land until we get there. The Saudi Arabia, Arabia. So that oil, the power, the energy, what gives the nation's power or energy, it will be controlled by Iran. And America and the nations of the world is going to feel the effect. Economic collapse, cannibalism, famine from not having energy, a lack of energy, to run their reality. Sisters and brothers, this is the outcome of the war that we're witnessing in the Middle East, the war in heaven. No one else is given detailed information from the unsealed scriptures that can be proven that gives us, sisters and brothers, the true seed of Abraham, God's chosen people, a clear understanding of what the scriptures share, the unsealed scriptures are sharing, a message that is being given to God's chosen people, Abraham's seed, a clear, perfect message of how we as a people have a doorway out of this land of our affliction, how we, the God, the scriptures, the prophets, the prophecy has given us, provided us with a clear understanding of what we need to achieve, what we need to take on and apply our new mind, the angel mind, as well as using the 5 pillars of Islam to protect us. And sisters and brothers, walk out or walk through this furnace of affliction. Walk through this purification process that we're about to experience, this time of unprecedented trouble. Walk through tribulations and learn who learn a clear understanding, a clear knowledge of self and of God, a clear knowledge of who we are, a clear understanding of why and what is taking place. Sisters and brothers, the scriptures, prophecy was written far in advance, thousands of years in advance. Prophecy, sisters and brothers, that has been shared with us because of the plan that God set into motion, that the prophets, the scientists knew about, written far in advance, and is giving us the understanding, a clear understanding of what is taking place, who we are. We are God's chosen people, sisters and brothers, and what we've been through, what is taking place, this war that is taking, all these things that's been written far in advance, shared what is going to happen. Prophecy being fulfilled. We're not going through something that we didn't see coming. The best of planners. Allah is the best of planners. We are given the understanding of what is taking place, who's who, all the things that they're telling us, giving us their interpretation of the lie of their heaven, what hell is. None of that is the truth. This is a mind world war, sisters and brothers, and get your mind back and you'll understand everything clear of what's taking place and why they don't want us to understand who we are, why they don't want you to listen, learn who we are, who the God is, and what's taking place from the unsealed scriptures. All the information that is being given to us freely to bring us through this time successful. This is not a might be or maybe. Sisters and brothers, the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, Master Suleiman, Joshua the Messiah, is given a detailed, clear, perfect message for our success. To return home, to wake you up and let you know that the Abraham covenant belongs to the original black man and woman. Now, sisters and brothers, America will attack all blacks before false Israel is destroyed. False Israel will be first to be destroyed to clear up this their religious eschatology that false Israel is God's chosen people. False Israel will be destroyed first to clear the air of this lie that false Israel, America, and Britain has given the world, this idol that false Israel, the synagogue of Satan, is God's chosen people, stealing the original black man and woman's birthright, identity, having the world bless them and curse us. Sisters and brothers, false Israel will be destroyed first, and the world will immediately come to a clear understanding of who the original black man and woman is. God's chosen people, the true seed of Abraham. When false Israel is destroyed, their religious eschatology and all the lies are destroyed with false Israel. In America, after being thrown out of heaven, out of the Middle East, will know or will attack us, trying to keep us, sisters and brothers, from our rise. We have to understand that we are despised by the nation, despised by our enemies, because our enemies know when we rise, the house of Sod has to be removed off our land because we're coming to take our land back. False Israel know they're going to be destroyed for stealing our identity, lying to the world. And America is going to be destroyed for what they've done to us. How they afflicted us, how they refused to let us go. They're holding us captive here in America. Sisters and brothers, this is what we're witnessing. This is what's taking place. This is what the nations, our enemies, our half brothers, are striving hard to keep us under their rule, under their foot, away from the truth, away from knowing who we are so they can hold on to their rule. However, the powers of heaven will be shaken. The powers in this world will be shaken. Sisters and brothers, America and Britain and the synagogue of Satan, false Israel, are the superpowers of this world. And they will be defeated by Iran, showing that their power has failed or has been shaken. In America, power will be shaken. America will fall. Sisters and brothers, we will be successful. We are the true seed of Abraham. We are that nation that has been through 400 years of affliction. And scripture states, after that 400 years, we will be brought out of this land of our affliction and return to our land. The land from the river Egypt to the great river Euphrates. And we'll be brought out of this land of our affliction with great substance, great wealth, a clear understanding of who we are, clear understanding of self, and ready to return to our land to bring in our heaven, to bring in this new season, new time, this new world, and to destroy and to take out and remove the devil's world. A changing to spring from winter. This winter season, these winter ruler, this winter people that were made to shed blood, make mischief, and shed blood. Their time is up. And we are bringing out or bringing in the new season. And as the old season is taken out. Sisters and brothers, we again are the gods, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad shared, and the goddesses of the planet, and the universe, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. We submitted under 400 plus years, 24/7 of slavery and affliction. Sisters and brothers, this is where I'm gonna leave it right here. This is where we are. This is what's taking place. This is what is going to happen in detail. Not watch the weather. Not Armageddon that started 3 years ago and nothing's taking place. Not where where the mother plane is the New Jerusalem, we're gonna stay. No, none of that. A clear understanding of the scriptures, the unsealed scriptures. A clear understanding of what and why we're here, and what and why we went through what we went through. What's taking place with our planet, our universe, how it works. That we're in a pressure environment, and that the universe expands and contracts. Now we're in a phase of the energy coming back. Sisters and brothers, soon we will receive, every day we're more this any day, this energy burst. We will receive that will break, that we will utilize to fully break free of these devils in their world. With that, sisters and brothers, we will come together overnight as a mighty army, as a mighty nation, one body, one people, under truth, mathematics, bringing in justice, freedom, justice, and equality, achieving harmony, unity, harmonic motion, Hajj, as a body, a nation, sisters and brothers. And with that, we are going to come out of this land of our affliction unscathed. No weapon formed against us will prosper. Sisters and brothers, we will eat, we will be provided food by the God, Master Fard Muhammad. With that, sisters and brothers, I'm going to greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.